Hi, we're back on Mother's Day 2026. And I think this time last year, we're probably a couple of episodes in. And this comeback is probably third time lucky of me start stopping. But that is life. That is actually the reality that I live effectively. So we're back. I love it. And happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. But before I sort of jump into talking about Mother's Day and keeping on top of things and all of that jazz, I just thought it'd be good for us to have a catch up. I literally have been just existing, I suppose, just moving through the day to day. I've just been going through it, really. I'm now, 7 months postpartum? And I don't know why I keep doing this to myself. I keep thinking I'm ready to do things in my head. But then when it comes to trying to actually do them physically, I'm like, I start and I go back and I start and I take 2 steps backwards. And it's just, girl, Theo is now 7 months old. I'm back to work and balancing 3 children, a husband, and just working through all of that. Do I have it all figured out? Absolutely not. Do I have literally, I'm not joking, a room full of laundry? Yes. That needs to be organized because it's like all the kids' clothes that they've outgrown that needs to be packed away. Some of it needs to be donated to charity. It's all waiting for me to get done. And I will do it at some point, but I'm in that phase right now of taking things slowly. If I can do it, then I'll do it. If I can't, then I can't. But doesn't mean I give up. It just means I can take a pause into things. And what I love about doing this podcast with all of you guys and you guys walking through this journey with me is that you actually get to see that it's not perfect. It's not polished. And that's what motherhood is like. I started this podcast when I just fell pregnant, and I thought, oh yeah, I can do this because I'm comparing myself to the 26-year-old pregnant me who could do 100 things at the same time and was only pregnant with no other kids, so I could pick up lots of other things. But actually, have you seen? Every time I'm like, yeah, I'm back, I'm doing it again, then life just literally slaps me around the face like a wet fish. And I'm like, oh, no, I can't. But I'll start again. You do it with me. We'll go through it together. Because that is the actual essence of being a mum. Life is just a roller coaster. It's not always perfect. And I'm okay in that. I'm actually okay in that process. So we're keeping on going. How is it actually working for me? My mum, my husband are literally my, what do you call them? Like arm bearers. They're like my people that keep me going. They keep me sane. They allow me to be able to function and do what I need to do. So Theo, my son, is the only one of my kids who's ever had a bottle before they were like 9 months old, which has been a godsend. I love breastfeeding, and I think I've said it multiple times before that breastfeeding is probably my favorite part of being a new mum or having a newborn. But I didn't realize that putting the baby on the bottle, he's not drinking formula, he's still drinking breast milk. But my gosh, you guys didn't bring me in to the freedom that gives me. Just basic things. I'm not joking. Like to go get my nails done, for example, I literally was talking to Alex and I just went, babe, I'm going to pop out to get my nails done. Oh, okay, cool. How long are you going to be? And I'm like, not quite sure. He's like, all right, I'll defrost a pouch of milk from the freezer. And I was able to just go. That meant I didn't have phone calls. I didn't get a phone call to be like, oh, when you're back, the baby's hungry. Or what's this. Because now that we've got him onto a bottle, there is freedom. I can go out for a couple of hours. I can go out. I've even been out for a whole night. That was an experience. And I'll talk about that in a second. But it's just, I was missing a trick with the other 2's pregnancies and I was suffering for no good reason whatsoever by having this idea that, oh my gosh, breast is best, which it is, in my opinion. Breast is best, but it doesn't mean that it has to come directly from the source at all times. I can pump and he can have a bottle. Perfectly fine. And I think it's so much better because he can be left alone with Alex. He can be left alone with my mum and he doesn't even miss me. When I come home, sometimes, as long as he's fed, he'd be like, oh, you're back. Just, I'm so glad I've managed to do it third time round, because if I didn't put him on the bottle, all the stuff I try to do would not happen. It would not happen at all. Things in terms of life, what's really been going on is I am working again, which is great because I actually like that part of me. I like that aspect of my persona, I suppose, my personality, I suppose, because that is the career side of me. And I enjoy it. It's a different perspective and there's different part of my brain that's engaged. I'm also trying to network a bit more and network outside of the usual norms. So trying to meet new people. I do have a stranger danger fear. And I didn't realize this because a lot of times when people see me, or even how I see myself as someone who's bubbly and okay to just talk to people and all of that kind of stuff. The nature of my job, I work in HR, I can talk to a stranger, no problem whatsoever. There's a difference though that I've realized that a lot of the times when I'm talking to people is because I'm in a situation that I just need to work through and then I leave and I'm done with it. And that's it. Whereas now I'm being a bit more intentional to want to meet people that challenge the way I think, that challenge the way I approach life, people that I can learn from. And what's triggered some of that is the fact that in my 30s now, I'm realizing that I'm an adult. And it sounds so silly, but it's like once you start having kids, responsibilities change. The way I approach life changes. The way I process things going on in my life has changed completely. My priorities are different from what they were in my 20s. And then honestly, real life stuff is starting to happen. Things around our parents' health or relationship changing, whether they're friendships or whether they're actual partners, marriages, whatever it is, are actually changing. And we're having to make some really serious decisions. And some of it, I'm like, I don't think I'm old enough to be advising on this, or I'm old enough to be dealing with this, but that's what it is. And I remember Esme said to me, Mama, but you're old. You're like a grown up, a proper grown up. And I'm looking at this 6-year-old and to me, no, I'm me. But she's looking at me and she's like, no, you're a grown up. And then you see all these little kids that see me and they're like, hi, Esme's mum. Hi, Mrs. Huda. And I'm like, oh, guys, hey, when did I become Mrs.? And I know I am all these things, but it's just getting to that realization that actually that is the point in life that I'm at. And it's okay. Is it going smoothly? Majority of the times. Oh, I can actually tell you what happened this week, actually, on Monday. I forgot to pick my daughter up. I'm not joking. I actually forgot to pick my daughter up from school. And I was sat in a room talking to people and someone said to me, oh yeah, it's 3:30 now. And I went, shit. And they're like, what's the matter? It's like, I need to go get my daughter. Literally just closed my laptop, packed my bag. I didn't even finish the meeting. I just ran out, called the school on my way. And they're like, oh, don't worry about it. We just put her in after school club. I'm like, no, she can't go to after school club. She's got piano lesson in 17 minutes. I need to go. I need to just come pick her up and then we go. And I remember getting there and she looked at me. She goes, did you forget to come and pick me up? And I'm there like, I'm so sorry. But yeah, I did forget to pick you up, little girl. I opened the door and I went, little girl, let's go. And she was just like, Mum. No, she calls me Mama. She was like, Mama, did you forget? And she looks at me like this. She does, Mama, did you forget to pick me up? Yes, I did, girl. Everyone I've spoken to has said, yeah, we've all done it. If you haven't forgotten your kids at school, well done. I have. Luckily, I only had one child in school because my son's got chickenpox, so he's at home. But that is effectively life at the moment. In December, I went out with a couple of my girlfriends, which was amazing. We went to watch Magic Mike in London and stayed over the night. Oh, the freedom. I absolutely loved that night. Just going out, not having to worry. But I had my pump so I could just walk around. Every time we got to a new bar or we got somewhere, I'll just go to the toilet, dump it, put it back in my bra, pump as we go, and no one was anyways as I was pumping and dumping. I think I lasted until like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, which was fantastic. And it's again that sense of freedom that I can have this time around with my child, and working through that mum guilt. That actually, girl, you don't need to be with your kids all the time. You actually, they're okay to be with other people, and that's good. And then I went out on Friday last week as well. But that was just local. Again, it's finding myself again, finding my rhythm. Can I do it again this weekend? Absolutely not, because it took me like 2 days to recover. Alex and I went away for Valentine's, and then we spent the night away, which again, I think that's the first time we've actually been away without any of the kids. So today being Mother's Day, and with last week, Sunday, being International Women's Day, we've literally had back-to-back celebrating women. Obviously, today is a bit more focused on mothers and celebrating motherhood in all its essence. A lot of the times when we talk about celebrating mums, it just had me thinking, what does it actually look like? And sort of tying it into the theme of International Women's Day last week, which was give to grow. What does that actually mean in real life? What does it really translate into in real life? And I thought of over this week, I've really been thinking about it, because as mums, naturally we give. Everything that we do is around giving. It's about giving to our family, our friends, our children, relationships. Sometimes we forget that in all of that giving, we're also growing. Mother's Day is all about celebrating the big things. It's like, oh, thank you for giving me life, or thank you for everything that you do for me, and the flowers, the gestures, the gifts, the presents, which is great. It's fantastic, and I'm so excited for it myself. But within that, I just feel like sometimes we miss out on the actual living and the growth that happens to us as women being mothers in the day to day. How I see it, I see that motherhood is like built on tiny little moments that happen throughout our day to day. So what I mean by that is there are elements of growth that I've had, especially patience. I've learned patience through motherhood, but it's not something that I've done like a course on, or I can pinpoint exactly what moment or what activity got me to be patient. For me specifically, through giving a lot into my children, teaching them various things, teaching them basically life, I've learned a lot of patience. There's not a single point in time that I can go, that was it. That is where I got my patience from. It's actually been through over time. So I've been a mum now for almost 7 years. Over time, those little ordinary moments that are so frustrating sometimes, that test my patience and my sanity, that's where I've learned the art of patience. And it's those little things that we sometimes forget. Well, when I say we, I know I forget. I don't know about everybody else, but I know for a fact I take those little moments for granted, because I don't see the growth that is happening in me a lot of the times. It's only when something major happens I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh. Or I go through my camera reel and I see myself when I was 28 years old and I was wherever I was. And I said, the girl in that photo compared to the woman now, two very different things. If I'm being totally honest, I genuinely feel like I am still figuring out motherhood as I go along every single day, and no day is the same. Yes, I've got routines in terms of the kids wake up at a certain time, we wash, we eat, we go out to school, we come back, we make dinner, we do all of these other stuff. But each one of those days within that routine there's an element of chaos that can just pop up whenever. like I said, I've got a child with chickenpox sleeping upstairs. I've got Theo sat literally right there, and you've seen I've fed him as part of this, and that's not bad chaos. That's just life. It's just the simplicities of every day, and as mums, we're doing a good job at working through that and just trying to figure it all out. After our little life update, I am engaging with a couple of fantastic mums that I am looking forward to having them, whether it's virtual or whether they're sat on my sofa. I'm really looking forward to just getting back in the swing of things, back into our little community, our little chats about what it means to be mums and what it is that we're doing regularly. And I just want to hone in on that point of us really being each other's villages and what that really means for each and every one of us individually, because what I need from my village might be very different to what you need from your village. Because yes, we're celebrating mothers today. Yes, we're doing Mother's Day, which is fantastic because we're celebrating the joys a lot of the times in motherhood. But realistically, it's such a messy process. It's so emotional, so emotional, and quite frankly, exhausting. It is exhausting being a mum sometimes. But within that, all of those sort of niggly bits paint a beautiful canvas of motherhood. And that brings us so much joy and purpose for a lot of us mums as well. It's not the only purpose, but it's quite a significant part of our actual being, really. So if I go back to the theme of International Women's Day last week and going into Mother's Day the following week, I sort of want to make sure that for me, I continue to grow through the patience of being a mum and all the various elements that come with that. I want to grow in all the hardships that I find, the difficulties of being a mum, figuring it out, the confusion, the guilt, all of it. I want to grow through learning with my children, learning with my friends, learning with my family, learning with my husband, and grow into me as a whole and not just be defined by motherhood, which I know is a significant part of who I am. But there's all these other elements, and I want to make sure that I'm growing in all those as well. Being a mum, I know it asks a lot of me and probably asks a lot of you. Somehow in all of that giving, let's make sure that we recognize and appreciate the women that we continue to grow into as that. So I just love the fact that as much as motherhood is about shaping my children, it also shapes me as I go. And I just think these 2 weeks put together have been absolutely so fitting and so timely. So how I see it is maybe the theme for Give to Grow. This is my personal interpretation, by the way, because I know there's a lot of the theme around International Women's Days of uplifting women as a whole in society, whether it's from a workplace, societal norms, cultures, all of that kind of stuff. I'm just talking about it from a motherhood perspective and how I interpret it. And how I see it is that maybe the Give to Grow notion isn't necessarily about giving more of me or giving more into my children, but probably it's more so about me recognizing how much I've grown in the process of being and mother, and how much I continue to grow in the process of being a mum. So target and hope is for me to be able to join you every 2 weeks on the podcast and have some lovely ladies with me. Please be patient with me. You can hear the baby 7 months ago, and I'm just figuring stuff out as I'm going. That's it. Happy Mother's Day to everybody who is a mum, who's trying to be a mum, who has been a mum in whatever capacity and context that you are a mother. Happy Mother's Day, and I'll see you soon.